Entrepreneurship is not a straight line upward. There are seasons where things are growing and seasons where everything has to be rebuilt. And when I look back on my journey, I realized I did not have a business. I had a job that depended entirely on me. There were a few stages I had to go through before I really understood what building a business actually looks like. When I first started out in business, listen, I am such a hustler, guys. It's bad. The only thing I knew was that I needed to get paid. That was it. I didn't think about services. I didn't think about structure. I didn't think about building a team or creating systems. I was just doing things for people and getting paid for it. If someone needed something done, a pitch proposal, a deck, because that's kind of where I started out. Some business cards, and later on I went into digital, so like web building and stuff. This is back in like 2008. And I knew how to do something, I did it. And if they paid me for it, it was great. This is wonderful because I kept getting paid. That was my understanding of business in the beginning. But one of the biggest mistakes I made early in entrepreneurship was not recognizing my own value. People were constantly asking me to help them with things, different people over and over again. Some clients I have today, I had from 2010 and 9 before I even was incorporated. This is how long I've been in this constant cycle. And when that happens, that's usually the sign that you have a skill that people actually need. But I didn't see it that way. And a lot of us don't see it that way. I thought the value was just in helping people and getting the money. I didn't realize the value was actually in the skill set that I was developing. This is where many entrepreneurs get stuck. When you don't recognize your own value, you end up underpricing yourself, overworking yourself, and building something that has no structure. I was in hustle mode, plain and simple. That was it. Eventually, things started picking up for me, crazy. More people started coming to me for services. I started building other things. I even started building a Moguls, my nonprofit, and it took off during COVID, really. And it was quick too. I'm writing books at the time, speaking at events, coaching clients. The money was really starting to come in for me, and I started to feel confident. But then another trap happens, because when the money starts coming in, I started chasing only that. And I wanted to keep it flowing. So instead of stepping back and asking, how do I really structure this thing so that I don't burn myself out or I can maximize its potential, I just kept working. I kept doing everything myself. And for a while, that did work. And eventually, I did reach 6 figures. I reached my milestone number. But what people don't talk about is what happens after you reach that level. I hit a ceiling, not because the demand stopped. I hit a ceiling because I was the entire business. The money was coming in because of my effort, but that meant that business could only grow as much as I could physically handle. And I physically couldn't do it anymore. I was burned out. I started getting sick. I've spoken about this before. I've literally built something that depended completely on me. It was crazy. I couldn't even really be happy because I was so stressed out. And then life started happening. I moved. My father passed away. My kids were adjusting to new schools. I was adjusting to a new environment. Everything started happening at once. And that's when I realized something very important. I did not have a business. I had a job that depended entirely on me. That moment forced me to step back and look at what I had built. And when I analyzed it, the truth was I didn't have any systems. I didn't have any structure. I didn't have anything that could keep the business running without me. And that's when everything changed, because I started to think like a CEO, not just someone that was doing the work. I was an excellent employee in many places, including my own business. I really had to shift my perspective. I really had to become someone that was intentional about building something sustainable. Because if that's the case, I'm going back to work, to be honest with you. It's not something that is going to grow, and it's not something that you're going to continue to be in love with. You're going to resent this thing that I feel. The reason why I'm doing it is because God told me and put it in me to do it. That's the only way, and that's the only reason why I'm so good at it, I believe. So I started asking myself different questions like, what systems need to be in place? How can this run without me doing everything? How do I protect my mental health and my future? Success used to mean making money, but now success means something very different to me. I want to be profitable and also be sustainable. I want to have systems. I want to have structure. I want to have longevity, because a real business should be able to support your life, not consume it. Entrepreneurship has seasons. There are seasons of hustle, seasons of breakthrough, and seasons where you have to step back and rebuild everything. A lot of people give up here, but rebuilding isn't failure. Sometimes rebuilding is the moment you finally start building it the right way. And if you're building something right now, just know the journey isn't always a straight line. Sometimes the rebuilding seasons are the ones that prepare you for the next level of growth. That's something I'm still learning myself today. If you're building something of your own and you want to hear more honest conversations about entrepreneurship, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be sharing a lot more of what I'm learning as I continue building.